Today, I'm going to answer your questions. Lots and lots of your questions. Hi, I'm TechDweeb, welcome. So, when I was about to hit 10,000 subs, I put out a call for questions for a Q&A segment of my 10k subs video. But I got way more questions than I thought I would. And there were so many good questions that I said, you know what? I'm gonna do a whole Q&A video because you guys were cool enough to ask me questions and put thought behind your questions, and I want to be cool enough to answer your questions. So that's what we're gonna do today. It's gonna be a long one, so grab a can of root beer or herbal tea or whatever it is that you people drink, and let's not waste any time and freaking do this thing, shall we? Interrogator asks, favorite brand of chips? Dill pickle. I freaking love dill pickle chips, man. Let me tell you. What game do you play the most? The game I played the most in the past was probably World of Warcraft, but a game that I played a ton of, and I still play quite a lot of today, is Crusader Kings. And Ogre. Actual glasses reveal. Actually, I need new glasses. My prescription has changed, so maybe I'll show you the new ones when I get them. Well, whatever. Here's my current glasses. Dot3 Productions asks, 3 questions? Who the heck said you could have 3 questions? Alright, fine, they're quick, but you better follow the rules next time, buddy. It's Q&A, not Q's and A's. Would you or would you not pull a Office Space style heist? That would require me to get a job, so no. Cargo shorts or cargo pants? Cargo shorts and cargo pants. I live in Canada, so shorts aren't really an option between November and March, but when I can go with shorts, I definitely prefer those. Besides video games, are there any other retro hobbies that you have, like watching Law and Order reruns with your mom? Retro hobbies, huh? Does playing board games count? Or card games? I'm a big fan of cribbage. I feel like that should count as a retro board game. Taku asks, how did you come up with the name TechDweeb? My first instinct is to make fun of your question, but I'll take it seriously. TechDweeb perfectly represented the kind of content that I wanted to make. I didn't want to focus on just one type of tech thing, like retro games or PC builds or whatever. I want to be able just to share whatever I'm interested in, any of my tech, and to explore my dorky side, because it makes me happy. Kai G asks, this might have been said already, but who did all your channel artwork? I did, actually. I love to draw and make cartoons and animations and stuff. I want to do a lot more custom artwork for various things on the channel. So some cool backgrounds and more character animation stuff and other drawings or things that I've planned. So stay tuned for all that when I do it. Salets91 asks, if a terrible solar flare erased all modern video games and you could only save 3 from 2012 or before to play for the rest of your life, what would they be? Wait, if the flare erupted and erased all modern games, then why do I only have to save 3 from before 2012? Would all the old games be okay if the flare destroyed only the modern ones? And how would that even work? How does a flare destroy only games from a certain time period? Your question makes no sense, but I'll answer it anyways because you said nice things. If I had to pick 3 games from before 2012, well, the 3 that I'd choose are going to be different than my 3 favorite games. So I'm going to kind of need to choose some games that won't get boring if these are the only games I'm playing for the rest of my life. Okay, so here's my 3. I'm going to go with Elder Scrolls Morrowind. I know I love Elder Scrolls games. I've not really played Morrowind beyond just trying it for an hour here or there. And I know that it's a freaking huge game. I'd explore every nook and cranny of that thing. I'd go with Burger Time. I can't live without that game. It's my go-to pick up and play for a few minutes game. And even though I play it quite often, I'm not amazing at it. And I haven't beaten it or anything. So it'd be fun to try to get really good at it. Like go for like high scores or something. And finally, I'm gonna have to go with Crusader Kings 2. That game came out before 2012. I could play that game for endless hours. It's one of my favorite games of all time. It's so deep and complex, but also so random and different every time you play it. Actually, if I could only have one game on this whole list, it'd be that one. And my favorite fast food is French fries with ketchup and root beer. Svikros is 3359 asks 3 questions. You know what? No, I'm not gonna give you 3. From now on, only 1 question. So, Your one question is, if you had the chance to collab with anyone alive or dead, who would you choose? I'm gonna go with Ryan Davis, the host of the Giant Bob podcast. I freaking love that guy. I listened to that podcast so much I felt like I knew him or something. He was genuinely special. When he passed away, it was like the very first time that I felt so connected to an online person that I didn't actually know that I felt like I lost a friend, and I was genuinely sad. I got angry and I broke something with my muscles. Men don't cry. But oh man, I miss that guy. I'd love to have had the chance to hang out with him. Mikey Sax Music asks, congratulations, would love to hear your hindsight 2020 opinion on the arcade machine you made, things you like, things you do different hardware, etc. Alright, a post-mortem on my arcade machine. Well, one thing that I messed up was that the wood covering of the joystick area was too thick, so I had to use a joystick extender, which doesn't, it makes the joysticks feel different. They have more travel, and they just feel less responsive. I bevel that area in so that I didn't have to do that. I guess maybe the art that I made for the bezel is a little too dark, you know, because it has light shining through it. The dark areas kind of glow a bit, and they feel kind of like more like gray or brown than black. I probably should have gone for a brighter, more colorful vibe. I might change it eventually, actually. I could easily swap that out. Maybe I try to more accurately match the shape of the screen cutout with the exact size of the screen is slightly wrong, but honestly, there's not much I'd actually change. It turned out so good. I'm super happy with it. Sambone757 asks, 10K is huge. It's one of the first filters of YouTubing. Proud of you, bro. Son. Oh, thanks, Dad. What did you do before YouTube? Were you an art teacher or perhaps a graphic designer? Well, I made a video about some of my past jobs. Go watch that if you want to know more. But yes, actually, I did teach art at one point. You guessed it. And yeah, I've done some graphic design and art stuff. I also worked on some video games, but that's a story for another day. But I do love making YouTube videos now. I just love being creative. And for anyone out there listening to this who loves being creative, just do it. I'm giving you permission. Life is short. We only have so long in this world to make amazing things. Quit wasting time and just go make them. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk. Mikey Sax Music asks, wait, didn't you? Yeah, you already asked a question, buddy. Alright, fine. I'll let it slide this once. You better play by the rules though, or you're gonna get it. Get something. Would you consider making your own emulation handheld using the Caddus Edge 2 SBC? I think you'd be very creative with how you designed the shell and all the peripherals. Oh, I would love to do something like that. I mean, to be honest, I have zero skills with product making or fabrication, so it would probably turn out terribly, but I do have some ideas for what I'd want if I ever got the chance to design my own handheld. It'd be freaking awesome, but I'll tell you what. Hey Scotty B3653 asks, what was the first system you got as a kid? Oh, Nintendo. My aunt gave it to me. I couldn't freaking believe it. I didn't think I'd ever get one because we were so poor. I was so happy. Would love to see a video similar to the one you made about DOS games on the WiiU Mini, but for Retroid 3+. Oh yeah, I'm definitely doing the DOS games on the RP3+ video very soon. I'm working on it right now, actually. I have the script basically all written. Unknown last name 7142 asks, if you could do a secondary channel on any subject matter outside of tech that you're interested in, what would that be? Oh, that's easy. Board games. And if I made a third channel, it would be on camping and hiking. And if I made a fourth channel, it would be on my other special secret interest that I don't tell anyone about. LoveX3842. This is a long one. Do I feel a sense of FOMO over not getting the Steam Deck? Well, yes. Oh my god, yes. But I feel that way about everything that I don't have, to be honest. I've wasted my money on too many things over the years that I've all but forgotten about shortly after I got them. You know, these days, I'm all about getting things that are cheap or things that I know are going to bring me a lot of enjoyment compared to the price. Now, I know the Steam Deck is amazing. I wish I had one, but I don't play enough big handhelds to warrant buying one that costs so much. Although, never say never. You might see some Steam Deck videos videos if I ever find one at a good used price, or if I'm in an impulsive enough mood. Drew495. Congrats, TechDweeb. Thank you. What's the best budget device for emulating GameCube in your opinion? I'm assuming you're talking about portable devices, so I'll go with the RP3 Plus. It's not perfect for all GameCube games, but it's great for probably like 80 to 90% of them. And it's so affordable that it's really the only true budget option for GameCube, as far as I can tell. Critical8870 asks, if a Retroid Pocket 4 came out right now, would you get it, and what would you think the device will look like? Oh, yes, I would. I love the Retroid products. We've already heard rumors that they're doing a vertical handheld. I don't know if it's going to be the RP4 or what. But what I really want is a new clamshell handheld, like the Powkitty V90. That's what the world needs right now. Aaron Kitty asks, if you had the opportunity to grab a coffee/beer/root beer with anybody ever, real or fictional, who would you want to meet and why? Root beer with anyone ever, real or fictional. I'm definitely going to have to go with Bender, I think. That'd be a night to remember.
I'm going to dance on your corpse right now. Doodle-boo. Oh my God. Bender, what are you doing?
User Najib asks, what's your favorite cologne? I don't wear cologne. No, better. What's your favorite brand of slippers? My slippers are cheap rubber sandals. No, I've got a good one. Who's your favorite fan? My favorite fan is the person watching this video right now. That's right, I'm talking to you. You're my favorite. Thanks for sticking with me, buddy. Or, maybe tell us about your first forays into gaming and emulation. Maybe a problem you ran into and it turned out to be something silly. Maybe do another desktop background. First forays into gaming and emulation, and a problem that turned out to be silly, and you want another desktop background. Well, you're just demanding, aren't you? I'll do one of those. Let's go with the first forays into emulation. I dabbled with NES emulation back in high school when it first kind of showed up in the world, the idea of emulating Nintendo games. But my first real foray into emulation was with MAME when I was in college. This was like, I don't know, 2006 or something. I had a laptop and some USB controllers, and when I'd go to college parties to try to fit in, I would bust out the laptop and fire up some Ninja Turtles arcade or some shmups, and eventually all the nerds and dweebs would emerge from the crowd of cool people, and we'd have ourselves a retro gaming nerdy time instead of the keg stands or whatever the cool kids are doing. Awesome Carl asks, would you rather use a modern APU or an older similarly performing high-end CPU and GPU? I'll go with this dedicated CPU and GPU because I think that a good upgrade cycle is every year or two to either replace your CPU or GPU. That way it's affordable and you always have room to improve. And it's cheaper that way too, to be honest. L7NK asks, what's your favorite way to back up your data, especially emulators, settings, and save data? Okay, I have an 8 terabyte backup drive in my PC, and I have an external hard drive to back up the important stuff that I do every 4 months or so, and then I have an off-site backup that I update yearly for all my very important things, documents and photos and things that I've made or whatever. I should be better at my backup hygiene, but we all should though, let's be honest. JuiceboxDan72 asks, what knife do you take camping with you? It looks like it would be pretty sweet for bushcraft stuff. Okay, this is gonna disappoint you, but I don't even take a knife. I used to be into bushcrafting. I was in Boy Scouts when I was a kid, and when I grew up, bushcraft stuff, I got into that for a while. I do have quite a few knives. My main bushcraft knife is this one, the Condor Bush Lore. But honestly, I find the bushcraft stuff is just time consuming and heavy. I'm kind of bored of it. I'm more of a minimalist, ultralight hiker kind of guy now. Don't get me wrong, I still sleep under a tarp in the dirt, but I have no need to cut down a tree and build a shelter and a chair and a table or whatever. It's more time to chill out too when you don't have to bother with that stuff. I get by just fine with my hands alone when I'm out in the backcountry. And my Powkitty V90, of course. Ion Nami Gdalalon 2263 asks, what advice would you give yourself when you were young? Do you regret doing or not doing anything? Oh man, there's so much. You mean other than buy Bitcoin and sell in 2021, I assume? I'll go with waiting so long to start making YouTube videos, actually. You know, I've wanted to do it for ages, and I don't know why I didn't, and I really regret that. I'm not sure if that counts because YouTube wasn't around when I was a kid or anything, but just making videos on my interests and putting them out there it's currently my favorite hobby, and I wish I didn't wait so long to get started. Mohammed Fareh 1649 asks, what's your opinion on the WiiU and what faux you think makes it underrated or deservedly unsuccessful? I'm the wrong one to ask, dude. I'm ashamed to say that I've literally never even touched a WiiU. You know, maybe I'm part of the problem, but it wasn't on my radar at all until I started getting into emulation. You know, I loved the Wii, but the Wii U just didn't interest me, and I moved away from Nintendo hardware after that. Quag514 asks, what was your first custom-built PC, aka the first rig you built? What were its specs? If you're talking built entirely myself from the ground up, it'll be the PC that I had for a very long time just before my channel, actually. I might have a picture of it. I'll put it up on the screen if I can find it. It was an i7 8700K Z390 motherboard, 16 gigabytes of G-Skill RAM, clocked at 2400 megahertz, EVGA 1080 Ti, some sort of liquid cooler, a Cooler Master, I think. At first, I had a 3 terabyte hard drive with an Optane accelerator because NVMe drives were more expensive back then, but eventually I switched over to an NVMe drive. And it was in the Fantex Eclipse P300 case. I freaking love that case, man. I'd love to build in that case again someday. Many mistakes were made in my build. It took me like 3 days and lots of asking for help on Reddit. I got there though. That PC, it taught me how to overclock and do that fun stuff. I had PCs before that, you know, I'd buy and use and upgrade, but this was the point when I really learned about building PCs from the ground up. Ion Amiga now on 2263. Hey, you already asked the question, but you're a channel member, so I'll let it slide. Another interesting thing would be the following thought experiment. If you could use a Jedi mind trick on the CEO of a tech or gaming company, what would you do? I mean, immediately my mind went to your second example. Nintendo released all the old NES and Game Boy games for free to the world, although they're probably more likely to do the opposite, to just lock them away and never give them to anyone. But I'm gonna go with Steam, Valve, giving a bigger cut of the game sales to the game makers. Yeah, it's kind of criminal the way that Steam takes 30%. The 30% fee model is outdated. It made sense when these companies had brick and mortar stores and shipping costs and stuff. It makes zero sense to do it now. Ultimately, we'd have more games on Steam. Developers would be able to spend more money on development, making their games better, and games would cost less in the big picture. We'd all win. Except for Valve, but they're not doing crazy, amazing things with the bazillions they're making every minute right now, so I think they'd be fine to share some of their wealth a little bit more than they're doing. Andreas the Frog asks, what are your glasses, Brad? How tall are you? What's your favorite song? Which girl of any video game would you choose to be your wife except for Lara Croft? I didn't know what brand my glasses were until you asked your question, but looking now, they say Ray-Bans on them. Ray-Bans. I just picked them out of the glasses store because I like the way they look. I'm 5'10". Favorite song is Tom Waits, I Don't Want to Grow Up. And the girl I'd marry other than Lara Croft? I'd go with Abigail from Red Dead, I think. Adhian Sharma 7946 asks, love your work, bro. Thank you. Retro gaming wouldn't have been the same without you. I agree. Just one question. How much catnip do you offer your cat in an hour? Hermione eats an entirely catnip diet, actually. She lives off catnip and my love. Indian High Tech asks, well, Congo for 10K. I have a question for how much time does it make to make one video? It really depends. You know, sometimes it can take a few days of solid work to do my testing, write notes, record gameplay, write a script, record the footage, edit it all together, make the thumbnail. Some of them are quicker though. I can bang them out in a few hours. I plan on making a how I make videos video at some point, so stay tuned for that. L7NK says congratulations. That's not a question, but thank you. User FB stuff. In a pinch, if there was no A&W root beer left, would you rather drink mug root beer or ditch water? Yeah, I'll drink a mug. I don't discriminate. I like all the root beers, to be honest. I'm not picky. Matthew Heiger 4965 asks, do you have a Steam Deck, or have you considered a Steam Deck? What are your general thoughts on the Steam Deck? Yeah, I think the Steam Deck is an amazing piece of tech. For people who don't have a gaming PC or need a portable gaming system for their lifestyle that supports it, it's hands down the most powerful way to play PC games on a really tight budget. I haven't pulled the trigger yet because it's honestly just not needed with my lifestyle. I barely leave the house. And when I do play portable games in the house, I like playing retro games on my retro handhelds. I don't need PC games in my hands because I have a gaming PC like right over there. But I do acknowledge that for lots and lots of people, the Steam Deck is freaking amazing. It's perfect. And I might get one someday, if only to avoid FOMO. Marshall Rar asks, do you have that hand joint hypermobility? Now this is a science question. Yeah, I do, I guess. I didn't know what that was until I looked it up just now, but yeah, I guess I do. Look how far back my thumbs bend, all on their own. And my thumb can bend down and touch my wrist. I just learned something about myself. Thanks, buddy. Baptist Duck asks, you've said that Final Fantasy IX is your favorite of the series, but you never managed to beat it. Would you ever consider doing a Let's Play of it on the channel? Also, have you ever kissed another person other than your mother? Well, I'm not one to kiss and tell, so you'll never know about that, but I would love to do a playthrough of a game or something like that. You know, I've toyed with the idea of including some actual gaming content on the channel. The problem so far is that I don't know where to start. I have so much I want to say. Like, I was gonna do a review of The Witcher 3 because it's one of my favorite games, and I just got freaking overwhelmed with all this stuff I want to talk about. It's gonna be like over an hour long. It's daunting. It's way easier just to do performance tests with GPUs and make retro gaming guides or whatever. But just because it's not easy doesn't mean I shouldn't do it. I need to figure out my voice in that space. Just give me some time. I'll figure something out. Metherig asks, what's your opinion about root beer floats? My opinion is that they remind me of my great uncle Roy. I had a really cool great uncle who lived in downtown Toronto. We'd go visit him every now and then. He was like an audio inventor guy. He had a bunch of patents for like audio equipment, speakers or something, and he had a Laserdisc player. I remember I watched Jurassic Park on his big TV with Laserdisc quality video and huge booming speakers, and I was in freaking heaven. Well, he used to make me floats in these cool handmade glass cups with these glass stir sticks that had Mexican sugar skulls on the end. So that's my opinion of floats. They bring me good memories. They remind me of my great uncle Roy. Nelly I 2501 asks, will you be expanding on your Aliens Walk Among Us video? I don't know what you're talking about. I have never insinuated that aliens walk among us, and I have definitely not been contacted by authorities and told to stop making content exposing conspiracies and revealing what's really going on. Aliens are fictional and not real, and please do not ask any more questions about them. Emmanuel Visson 8965 asks, okay, I'll go first. Oh, you were first? Should I have put your question first? I guess YouTube is just being weird with the order. I'm thinking of getting an Ein Loki because it's better than the deck without repair parts. Would you buy a $800 plus device without the ability to repair it if something goes wrong? I would not buy an $800 plus handheld gaming device yet. You know, the Ryzen 6800U devices are freaking amazing, but in like a year or so, we'll have way better devices at that price point. And the stuff that is $800 today will be $400 by this time next year. You know, now that we have larger companies entering the handheld space, we'll see lots of innovation and competition. So buy a handheld, go for it, but don't buy an expensive one, unless you're okay with paying the early adopter tax. Thunderchills 640 asks, one very important question, poo poo pee pee or pee pee poo poo? Moving along. Wolfie9019 asks, is your love of diet sodas a health conscious one or just for the love of that sweet, delicious aspartame goodness that makes one feel whole and good? Yeah, it's kind of a health thing. Switching to diet sodas was one of the things that I did when I was learning how to control my calories and finally losing some weight. It definitely helped. Now, don't get me wrong, aspartame isn't healthy. Diet root beer isn't as healthy as, like, I don't know, a fruit smoothie or freaking water or whatever. But compared to non-diet root beer, it's pretty benign. And honestly, I have come to love the taste of it. I had a non-diet root beer semi-recently, and it was like way too sweet for me. I'm just so used to this stuff at this point, so I guess that's why I choose it. NellieI2501 asks, great things for your channel this year. Thank you, TechDweeb. Congratulations. Oh, that's nice. Thank you. User YW stuff. Are you married or have kids? What are your future long-term goals? No way, man. I got no time for that stuff. I have too many GPUs to try, retro emulation devices to play Burger Time on. I got no time for a family. They'd be all like, oh, hi, honey. Would you like a foot rub? And, Dad, can you come tuck me in and give me a snuggle? And, Dad, I love you so much. You're the best dad ever. And blah, blah, blah. Every freaking day. Now, if the right girl came along and wanted to settle down, maybe I could be convinced. Nexus De asks a bunch of questions. 6 questions. Are you serious? No way. You get 1. I'll take number 4. What is the meaning of life? Well, I already made a video about that. Go watch that video. I'll link it in the description below. Boom. Done. Latin OC4513 asks, do you think that Sony will make another handheld? Nah. I really wish they would. It would be the perfect time to do it too, in my opinion. But no, I don't think we'll see any new handhelds from big companies for a while yet. I hope I'm wrong though. A new PSP? Freaking sign me up for that. Agumon5 asks, it looks like you really enjoy diet soda, in particular diet root beer. Are you concerned about the amount of aspartame you're consuming that the body metabolizes this to formaldehyde? Oh, another aspartame question. Goody. Here's the thing about aspartame. I know people who avoid it. They think it's a literal poison. I've looked into the aspartame science. I know what science says. Is it healthy? No. It's got a few kind of mild negative health outcomes if you consume a lot of it. But you know what has a ton of huge negative health outcomes? Alcohol. Lots of people drink alcohol, but it's not healthy. It's bad for you. We know that alcohol could lead to high blood pressure, heart disease, stroke, liver disease, digestive problems, cancer of the breast, mouth, throat, esophagus, voice box, liver, colon, and rectum. Do you drink alcohol? Do you go around asking people who mention they drink beer, oh, aren't you worried about getting rectum cancer? If you do, well, that's not how you make friends. Trust me. I think you need to pick your battles, you know? Is aspartame really a hill worth dying on? Sorry, I'll do one more of your questions because I feel bad for yelling at you. Are you going to make more retro handheld content? Oh, freaking heck yeah, I am. That's one of my main things. I have a huge list of videos that I want to make, and a good chunk of them are retro handheld related. And we got some pretty cool new retro handhelds on the near horizon. So sit tight, my dude. There's more on the way. Rob Roy 6941 asks, are you an A-list actor in a sneaky disguise? Yes, I'm actually Emma Watson. You caught me. Congratulations. Magic Slime World 3470 asks, well, first of all, congratulations. Thank you. What is your favorite food and how old are you? I'll go with spaghetti, I think, and I'm 40. Ellie's Fun and Games 8360 asks, is your mom a fan of your channel? Yeah, she loves me and everything I do. She tells me that all the time. Love you, Bob. Lloyd Ray 4788 asks, Gainward Ghost RTX 2060 Super versus Asus Dual 2060 Normal, which is better? Oh, I don't know, man. Get the Super if it's about the same price. Get the 2060 if it's way cheaper than the Super. Or get whichever looks cooler and fits your build aesthetic better. You know, there's no right answer when it comes to GPUs. Unless we're talking about the GTX 1630. The right answer to that one is to throw it in the garbage. Honestly, but either of those GPUs you're looking at, a good choice. Just go with whichever you like. I don't know. NellieI2501 asks, oh, wait a sec. You already asked a question. Ah, fine. Did you really go to art school? Oh, yes, I did. I actually went to a very famous art school and learned animation and illustration. But spoiler alert, I'm not a very famous animator or illustrator or anything. I'm probably more famous for a video game project that I worked on at one point, but maybe we'll save that story for another day. iBlackFeathers asks, 10K Subway sandwiches are a lot of sandwiches, or are they submarine sandwiches? That's still a lot. You'll never go hungry again, unless the food goes bad. That's a good point. Thank you for that. Iceberg Tech, love that guy. Who are your favorite non-tech YouTubers? Okay. I like this question. One of them is this guy, Shug Emery. He's like a hammock camping, hiking guy, and he's also a retired circus performer, so he does like juggling and fun stuff. He's a real showman and a goofball. I've been watching him for ages. He's probably my all-time favorite. I also play Dungeons and Dragons, so I have a bunch of D&D guys I follow. If I had to pick one of them, I'd pick Bob Worldbuilder, I guess. And this guy, Primitive Technology. He makes like primitive technology, like early forges to craft tools and stuff. His stuff is so interesting. If you have any interest at all, I've loved him for ages too. And I also like that Tom Scott guy. He does all sorts of dorky, nerdy topics. Some are about coding, some science stuff, some history, just some generally interesting videos on all sorts of stuff. I'll link to all these guys in the description below if you want to check them out. Franklin in Space 45342 asks, you talk a lot about emulation and handhelds. What are your top 5 at home and 5 on the go must have at the ready games? Oh man, these favorite questions are hard. I hate picking favorites because I like so much stuff. I'll give you a few of each. At home, I gotta have Crusader Kings 3, I gotta have The Witcher 3, and I gotta have Minecraft because I actually really like Minecraft and I play it with my cousins, my family. And on the go, I always have an RPG on the go. Right now I'm playing Vagrant Story on PS1. I gotta have my Burger Time, obviously. Oh, it's some sort of pinball, like Devil's Crush on the TurboGrafx 16. But I need pinball, really. Lots of good retro pinball games to play for quick sessions. Night Squats asks, what's your EDC pocket dump for me? Have a rad day, congrats on 10K. Thank you. It'll be pretty sparse. It'll be my WiiU Mini and my wallet and a pair of fingerless gloves if it's winter. My hands get super cold super quick, so if it's chilly, I need some sort of glove. But if they're not fingerless, I'll be taking them on and off again 10,000 times a day. Oh, and my keychain has a little knife and whistle on it for emergencies. Like if I need to open my AliExpress package and I can't wait until I get home to see what stupid thing I ordered 3 months ago. Rather than ripping it open with my teeth, I could just slice it open with my tiny knife. That's handy. Oh, and there's usually a wayward cookie in one of my pockets. I have a bad habit of grabbing cookies, eating some of them, and then shoving some for later in my pocket, but then forgetting they're there. Man Dung in 6961. Do you still think the RP2 Plus is worth it? You know, I really love the design of the RP2 Plus. But as for if it's worth it, it depends. You know, if you play retro games, if we're talking PS1, Saturn, Nintendo 64, and below, then yeah, it's totally great for those systems. A good choice, you know, considering how much cheaper it is than like the RP3 Plus. But if you want anything more powerful or widescreen, like GameCube or PSP or native Android gaming, then just go for the RP3 or the RP3 Plus. You'll have a way better time with those. Criticalil 8870, I'm pretty sure you already asked the question. What's your favorite Mario game? It's gotta be Mario World on the Super Nintendo. That was the game that got me obsessed with Mario when I was a kid. And the fact that I still play it often and enjoy it, even after all these years, is proof enough that it's stood the test of time. That's not only the best Mario game, that might be one of the best games of all time. Come on now, it's gotta be Mario World. Barry McConner, oh, I see what you did there. 5883 asks, can you make an old Apple Tower 0612 with 2 13-core CPUs and the latest AMD GPU and then try to hack Big SUR OS on it? No. It sounds like fun. I hope someone else does that, but I don't want to do that. Sorry. Jonathan Parker 123 asks, what specs did your first PC have do you do YouTube for a living? My first PC was 386 with an amber monochrome screen and like 2 megabytes of RAM, 40 megabyte hard drive. Yeah, I'm that old. And no, I'm unemployed actually. I guess YouTube is my job, but considering I spend more to make these videos than I make from them, well, let's just say I haven't figured out how to do the job thing very well yet. Kevin Kindororo 6286 asks, I hate to be one of these people, but I gotta know, when will the next show and tell video be out? Yeah, I gotta get back to that. Yeah, I love doing that last one. I wanted to make it a regular thing, but it just kept getting pushed back and back to make room for other videos. I'll do it though. Thanks for your patience, buddy. Prince Lamb 82 asks, are you the love child of Freddy Krueger? Yeah, I get the Freddy Krueger thing a lot because of my shirt, I guess. My shirt is orange. Freddy Krueger's shirt is red. We're completely different people. I'm not Freddy Krueger, and my dad isn't Freddy Krueger, although I wish he was, because he would have been a better dad than my dad, because my dad was a jerk. Pumpkin862 asks, what is your favorite color? What are you doing here? Come on, it's orange. Pay attention. Daniel Batas 5673 asks, what is your cat eating? Can I see how it's eating? Catnip, and no, Hermione's very private with her dining habits for some reason. The LTLF asks, has Lara Croft accepted your invitation? Jokes aside, your first game system, mine was the ZX Spectrum. Yeah, my first game system was the NES. I had an Atari, but I actually got that after the NES. The Atari was the first system that I had lots of game on, but the NES was my very firstest gaming experience. And no, Laura doesn't return my messages, and she's blocked me on social media. She's playing hard to get, I guess. Nicolas Solas 5255 asks, how has diet root beer changed your life, good sir? What kind of answer are you looking for here? You want to hear that it gives me a reason to get out of bed every day and make awesome videos for you? I'll say that if you want me to. Jacob's Dub asks, how cool are you scale from 1 to 10? Don't be dumb, Jacob. I'm beyond any scales your uncool mortal mind can conceive of. Japanese Mickey Mouse 6694 asks, 10k sandwiches yum. Holy crap, again with the sandwiches. Is this like a thing that I don't know about? Like a 10,000 subscriber thing? Fun fact, I actually used to work at a Subway when I was a teenager. I used to accidentally drop cookies on the floor, which meant that I could eat them. Then I got fired for dropping too many cookies. Noob Viper YT asks, what is your name? What is your age? Where are you from? TechDweeb 40 Canada. Robert McPherson of 3405 asks, where should I charge my devices? I feel like having them beside my bed pickles my brain, but it's so handy. It does? Uh-oh. I charge like 20 devices at once right in the bed with me. Well, nice knowing ya, I guess. Anal Prolapse asks, what music do you listen to? Any particular genres? Or like me, a bunch of random OSTs from games and movies. I'm a fan of lo-fi. That's probably what I listen to the most. I also like fantasy music from like video games and movies. I like synthwave music for exercising. And some modern stuff too. Major Lazer, The Weeknd, Billie Eilish, I don't know. And I also like retro music from the 70s and 80s. Some of the stuff that was around when I was a kid. Platinum Sun 4632 asks, are you a married man? I don't believe you're not pulling the wool over us. And are you ever worried about YouTube screwing you over somehow with its auto captions or something for exotic fast food, souvlaki, gyro, kebab, shawarma? Well, how dare you accuse me of being a desirable life partner that someone would want to marry? I won't stand for that. And I don't know what you mean about the YouTube caption stuff, sorry. And for exotic fast foods, I don't know. Does sushi count? I like that stuff. Andrew Comedy asks, what's with the Bob's Basement stuff? It's a comedy thing. You wouldn't get it. Miles Spender asks, do you fake your voice or is it naturally like this? This one connects with the next one, so I'll do them together. Cal Big Hobie 2957 asks, I've only watched a few of your videos, and you say gigabyte is what hooked me into your channel. How do you come up with your internet persona? Okay, so here's the thing. What you see when I'm on the screen, what you hear when I'm talking, this is who I am deep down. I'll be in a bit more embellished version of me. I have a naturally nasally voice, a little bit of a stutter sometimes. I'm a super dork. I like making jokes. I've always been that way. If you met little me, you'd say, oh yeah, there's TechDweeb right there. Actually, my nickname in grade school was the Dweeb because I was such a stereotypical dorky nerd. Now, as I grew up and tried to fit in with the cool kids, and when I found myself in adult situations, I had to learn how to talk like a normal guy and act like a normal guy, and I figured it out with practice. And now I can blend in with the grown-ups with barely a hint of the dweeb when I need to. I mean, we all do this to some extent, don't we? Like the people we are when we're by ourselves, or just with like our family members, it can be almost like different people than the people we are when we're pretending to be normal, respectable, productive members of society. You know, my channel, my persona, as you say, it's really just my chance to be my real self without worrying about what people will think of me. And for like-minded people like you and the guy or gal watching this, anyone who sees me doing my thing and relates to it or enjoys it, it's probably because we're on the same wavelength. You know, we have to hide our nerdy sides so often in this serious world. It's just nice that we can be ourselves here. That's freaking awesome, man. I'll drink a root beer to that. Heck, maybe two. Oh man, should I double fist? Yeah, let's do it. I'm feeling thirsty, my friends. Thanks so much for your questions. This was actually a ton of fun. You know, I might do another Q&A at some point. If I do, I'll need some questions. So if you have a question, feel free to leave it in the comments below. And if I make another Q&A, I'll definitely do your question. And while you're down there, you know what to do. I don't need to tell you this time. Thanks for everything, guys. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.